All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have Dr. Oladipo right here with us. Majid Jami is also here, and you also have Kolawole Johnson for joining us right from Abuja studios. So move straight to our next conversation. Efficiency in public service often comes at a cost. But when that cost is deemed a barrier to access by citizens, it calls for scrutiny. It is against this backdrop that the decision of the federal government to increase passport fees has sparked nationwide controversy and debate. The revision of the cost of international passports by the Nigerian Immigration Service now means a 32-page passport with 5-year validity will cost 100,000 naira, up from 50,000 naira, while a 64-page passport with 10-year validity was increased to 200,000 naira. According to the federal government, the fee hike is intended to improve service delivery, reduce corruption, and ensure timely processing of travel documents. But critics argue that the new charges are arbitrary, economically insensitive, and discriminatory against low-income earners. All right, Kolawole Johnson, I'll start with you. Kolawole, are you still with us?
I'm with you. I'm here.
I mean Kolawole,
you've not driven me away, so
you're here. Still with us.
You've not driven me away.
Kolawole Johnson, why should Nigerians pay more, for passport fees at this time? Why?
My natural instinct, the first instinct I'll have, when it comes to increase in social services provided by the government, is to revolt against that. It is in our blood. If you've been a critic for long, that's your natural instinct. But to be confident in that revolt, you ask the next question: why this increase? Is the increase justified? Now, I can put data to that. And if at the end I see that it is not justified, it strengthens my revolt. Even when it is justified, I will still pass it through the test of my training in political economy and development studies. Is it the right time? So in answering your question, permit me to subject my thought process to this test of knowledge. First, increase at this time, would not sit down well with anybody, whether you're high or you are low. Now, my little training in policy analysis, would tell me to ask the right questions. Why the increase? Is the increase justified? Why moving from 35,000 naira to 100,000? In answering that, we look back a little bit. That same document was about 7,000 some 15 years ago. But again, I remember that in those days, it was a laminated document. We were using lamination. I remember reading the article of a Nigerian in the United Kingdom who described how the once respected green passport became a symbol of irresponsibility. Why? You can walk into any black market and obtain a passport. There were no biometric measures or, strong enough security details to make the passport acceptable. But again, the Nigeria, immigration services took a leap some years back, I think less than 10 years ago, attempting to move, to an era where you have, a stronger document that can be presented and that can pass some security checks. That is when we started having the increase in the 20,000 or so. I can't remember. But I remember also that the International Center for Investigative Reports did a report in 2017, January to be very precise, where they were able to expose the scarcity in the system despite the promises that it was going to be available. Then the PRO of the organization then, said that the exchange rate was affecting them. So they were not able to deliver because the cost of production, they were not making it back because of the difference in exchange rate. Then we got into the unending circle of scarcity. The same thing that should cost 20,000, people were paying 50,000 naira for it. Then by 2019, a policy came out, a policy document came out from the NIS, where again they review the cost upward, about 25,000 naira and 25, yes, there about that time. But that season of scarcity did not start, did not stop. And I remember listening to the minister some 2 years, is it 2 years now or like a year plus ago, when he was saying that he made about 28 billion naira debt, with the service, which means that the difference in the cost of production and cost of sale was bringing in debt to the service. So I think they must have been faced with the question. Exchange rate that moved from 350 naira when it was being produced for 27 or 25,000 naira, moved from 350 to 1,500 naira. Should they increase at once? I'm sure that they must have answered that they can do that. So first, they provided the services. Now, I think I've been an advocate of, if you want us to pay for something, provide the services. Don't ask us to pay for your non-providing. Then when they did that, there was a little increase from 25 to 35,000 naira. But would that justify the difference in exchange rates? The answer is no. Now, with the kind of reform we've had, that now we will no longer be relying on printing our passport outside the shores of the country, where we will be subjected to the dynamics of exchange rate at all times. With the efficiency in the process, I'll ask myself, should I not pay the fair price for it? It is likened to electricity. When the government will subsidize what a rich man is having like 10, 12, 15 ACs in his house, and is asking, that he doesn't want to pay the right price for it. So for me, it is, have they provided the services for us to pay for? So if peradventure I notice that, the cost of, now don't forget something, that the same paper they use for printing the passport, the polycarbonate passport, is the same paper they use for printing money. So we know that it certainly, would not be cheap. So if you put all this into consideration, we will certainly think that an increase, may not be inevitable. Will be inevitable.
Okay.
But why at this time? That is a question you asked me. If I subject that to my little training, and I will be answering that in from different perspectives. The first to be to look at it. If you do not increase at this time, you will keep incurring debt. You keep putting the nation into debt crisis. Question, is that what we want? I will say no to that. Secondly, now, this increase, who is it affecting? Is it the poor? The answer is no. It is those who you will call the average or the middle class or the elite. You said no. A lot of people need passports, not just the elite. Yes, I know that. But those who need passport want to travel. Let's put it in proper perspective. You want to go to United Kingdom here. A 6-month visa application fee, I think it's about maybe $152 or $150, or something like that. That is for 6 months. If you're applying for 5 years, it's about $1,200. If my memory serves me right. So if you have it, and that is just a paper they will paste on your passport. So if you have a document that will last you for 5 years, not just a single paper, a security paper with security, features, with different applications that I was glad when I saw something at the airport not too long ago when I was coming into the country. And so all of this will not come free. That we know. Okay. So if we are saying that it should not be increased now, are we saying that they should keep incurring cost and be in debt crisis? The answer is no.
Okay.
Now, who are those that is affecting? It is those who can afford the money to pay for ticket, to pay 2 million, 1 million, 3 million naira for ticket. So are we saying because it is Nigeria, you can't pay the fair cost for what you're using? No, I don't think we should stay under that, under that guide and keep defending what is not right. So for me, I would defend what is good, or stand for what is good, and stand against what is not wrong. Thank you.
Kolawole Johnson has given us a backgrounder to this matter, and he actually broke it down. But it has caused a lot of controversy. I heard from Sarah, other concerned Nigerians, they've condemned this in its entirety, but how valid is their point? Those who are complaining that this is too much.
Well, I'd say, like the person who spoke before me,
Kolawole Johnson,
analyzed, it borders on the economic situation in the country and those other fine points that they have made. What we should be asking is it worth the trouble for the country to sink deeper into debt at this point and not provide the services that should be provided as it is being done in other climes? For instance, if you, less than 2 weeks now, read what those who now go to obtain their international passports abroad, what they are saying. The system is changing completely. The halls or the office where they receive them is changed. The mode of delivery of the passport has changed. Some stay in their homes.
You can get it in their house.
Yes, that's what is being done now.
Waiting time, everything.
Waiting time has changed. In Lagos here, if you go to the Ikeja passport office, you see a lot of changes. People no longer stand in the sun now. They are in air-conditioned offices where they sit down to get all of these things done. But more importantly is the first point in it. How much are we even processing this booklet? I was told that it's in the region of $50, $60 per booklet. When I checked by the current exchange rate, that was over 80,000 naira. So if it then means that Nigeria is losing, apart from the services around it, bringing it in and all the rest, about 30,000, 50,000 naira for every passport before now. So even now that it is at this price, it's not like the country is making profits. It's just like trying to stay afloat. And adding to what he said, you will see that a lot of people are going out of this country with this passport. What they are going there for, beyond the cost of traveling, you will see some people, they will tell you what they call PR. That's the means of getting employed and all the rest in other countries. Okay. Like in Canada, some of them purchase it for as much as 40,000 Canadian dollar. In the UK, the last time I checked, it was about 28,000 pounds that they purchase, that they get these things done. So when people have the mentality of paying for services outside the country, but don't want to pay for it within, it's baffling. The question, the issue for me now is the government must, as fast as it can, just like we have been talking about the Naira, ensure that these things are printed in Nigeria so that we are not using our scarce foreign exchange to print. That is what is crucial now. You know, we've been talking about printing the Naira in Nigeria for years, but we are yet to achieve it.
Okay, now looking at the background that Kolawole Johnson gave, and also from your own point of view, now that we're going to be paying higher fees, will Nigerians enjoy faster, transparent, and corruption-free service now that we're paying higher for this?
I think it's the Honorable Minister Olubunmi Ojo that can answer that. I would wish that I can answer that, but then if you are increasing from, within a year, if you are increasing from 35,000 naira, well, that's what it means. Last year, it moved, the 32-page 5-year passports moved from 35,000 to 50,000 naira. And now within a year, and the same excuse, the same reasons the government gave us then, and now it has moved from 50 to 100,000 naira. Same reasons, faster service, better security features, and quick delivery and quality. So we are getting the same reasons now. But then I will agree with Kola Johnson and my president emeritus here, Dotun. You see, if you fact check, the cost of an adult passport in the UK is £94. Convert £94 to naira gives you about 197,000. So, which is, and I think their own page, their own pages are just 32. Okay. So, which means it's still cheaper in Nigeria.
3,000 naira less?
No. Ours now is 100,000 for 32.
Okay, 100,000
for 32 pages, 10 years. It's
okay,
10
years, okay.
Well, the
64 pages, 10 years is 200,000.
Okay, so it's cheaper here in Nigeria.
Yes. So, but also in the US, as a first-timer, because they did their own in such a way that if you're applying as a first-timer, it's 165,000 for the booklet. For the US passport, which is normally 32 pages, but I think theirs is 10 years validity straight. $165 gives you 255,000 naira. And if you are renewing, you are paying less. That's $130, which also is equivalent of 200,000 naira. So I think what the Interior Minister should do is, they should, those of us who are adults now and renewing, if we are not first-timers, we should pay less. Okay. Because they already have our data in the system. In the US or UK now, you can sit in the comfort of your home and apply for your passports. For example, in the UK, instead of paying £94, if you are applying from your house and you want it delivered within a week, just top it up with probably it's going to be £107. Okay. £107. So you are spending additional probably
£20 or
less than £20 for the freight.
Okay.
So indeed and in truth, they should now make it much easier for Nigerians. Because my son, when he wanted to renew his passport, it took him quite some time. The earliest date he got was almost 3 months.
Oh dear.
It's called schools abroad. So, but here in Nigeria, you still get it's still within like a month. But honestly, the process, just like Dotun said, especially at Alausa here in Ikeja, is almost seamless.
All right, Kolawole Johnson, in wrapping up this conversation, many Nigerians, Sarah, they've, and concerned Nigerians, they've condemned, the decision to increase this passport, the passport fees. But how valid, in just wrapping up the conversation in just a minute or two, how valid is that argument?
Well, like I told you, the first instinct is to revolt against it. I'm sure that whether it's Sarah or... See, informed people may be angry at first. What they do is to look at the fact and the figures and see if it is justified or not. I just told you now, if a passport was being produced for, was it 27,000 naira, 2 years ago, and they were incurring cost deficit on that, and exchange rate moved from what it was like ×4, you would naturally not expect it to be the same if at all you want to break even, especially when you have some, a passport. See, in those days when it was cheap, I think it was only 2 fingers, biometric that we started doing. Now I think it's about 10 fingers now. And so a lot of features have been introduced into these, and it's no longer the same. So I don't think we expect to pay the same. Then don't forget that. See, the most important thing I've seen lately, it's not even about the price, it's the fact that some things that have been nipped in the bud. Look at it before now. You had a lot of centers where they are doing personalization, where, the same person will enroll you, the same person will take your biometrics, the same person will issue you the passport. Those things compromise our passport terribly. But now, you will take your, you will apply somewhere else, enroll someone else, you go to take your biometric card to somewhere. So I think it's getting far, far, far better.
Absolutely.
And for me, if you're talking about service delivery, I think this particular is it the ministry I will say now or the NIS? I think they've been top-notch in terms of service delivery. And no gainsaying that they have improved a whole lot better.
All right, thank you.
And if Nigerians, I'm sure that those who are saying no, as soon as they see that these are the facts and figures, that this is why the government should communicate more to the people.
Absolutely.
You can invite them.
Absolutely.
Open your books to them.
All right, Kolawole Johnson, thank you so much.
They may
thank you so much.
I
know you still have a lot to say, but
thank you.
We just have to go. Our time is fast spent. Thank you so much. That was Kolawole Johnson calling in from Abuja studio. Thank you so much for giving us the background, on the Smarter. Thank you so much. Dr. Thank you so much for doing this with us. All right. Majid Jami, appreciate you as always. Thank you so much for doing this, with us. And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.